Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a terrific matchup on tap between the Atlanta Falcons and the Buffalo Bills. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime, but kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, winter is just around the corner as you get a look at New Era Field just south of Buffalo, New York. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Atlanta Falcons and the Buffalo Bills. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand. And this is a game where the defenses, they need to be on their toes because you've got quarterbacks here, yes, that can throw the football, but they can also run it very well, too.
Mobile quarterbacks. Remember, for the longest time, they used to tell the quarterbacks, stay in the pocket. We don't want you outside of it at all. Nowadays, that mobility, truly an asset, and people are game planning for it. As a scout told me recently, we are actually working with what the colleges are giving us nowadays.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's Allen on 1st and 10. Pass hauled in by the 6'4" tight end Sternberger. The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up 2nd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Now Allen. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. And the big boys up front in the trenches, what do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
And they'll look to avoid an early 3 and out here on 3rd and 4. From the gun, it's Allen. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Tack McKinley in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. A 46-yard punt, 8 yards on the return. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. So here the Falcons now as they get set for their opening possession. They'll have Cam Newton calling the shots, the big man under center at 6'5", nearly 250 pounds.
I like this guy, and the reason I do, he tends to stay on an even keel. Doesn't let too much ruffle him. He will manage the game the way it needs to be managed, take what the defense gives him, and then he can strike at times. Had a touchdown pass. Yes, he had an interception last week, but he found a way for his team to win.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Here's the first carry for Le'Veon Bell. Try to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and no more. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Here now the offensive starters for Atlanta.
So the big question today is, how will they play in this weather? Because you can recreate moisture, right? You can do wet ball drills, things of that nature. But snow, you cannot create that in practice. You can't prepare for it. You just have to deal with it.
On 2nd down now, it's Bell. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. We'll look now at our starting defense. They're just below the cut line for top half of the league, 17th in the NFL against the run.
And stopping the run, that's been an issue for them all season long. Aren't you glad that you're not coaching the defense right now?
I'm very glad. They said that they've seen it in doses, but very, very small doses.
Yeah, you've got to be consistent. It's down in and down out, being able to play it, understand what you have to get done, and finally stop some people, put them on the ground.
An extra defensive back here for the Bills on third down.
In your face.
Slam, slam, slam. 8.
Out of the gun, Newton gets this one to Le'Veon Bell. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. 12 yards is the pickup, good for a first down for the Falcons.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. Nice pickup for a first down.
Check safety, check safety.
They'll run for the first time with Johnson. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Check it back, check it back.
Back to the ground, this time with Bell. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down. Throwing on third down, Newton. And he's got a man, Calvin Ridley. And he's got a first down as the tackle made at the Bills' 28.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
We used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
Now a first down carry by Bell. Down right around the 25. The numbers for Bell on the ground in the game last week. 21 carries, 82 yards, and a touchdown.
He's having a nice season, and he knows where he ranks in the league. Don't ever let a running back tell you that they don't know that. They do. So what he's doing now is lobbying the offensive coordinator all week long. Hey, how about a few more touches? He's one big game away from maybe leading the league.
Come on, baby. Let's see what you got. Check 99. Check 99. 8. Check 3. Check 3.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a third and about 4 more for a first.
I think that's the type of run we'll continue to see throughout this game. The snow coming down, I don't expect a lot of big plays to be broken.
This will be the 8th play of the drive here. 3rd and 4.
QB drop. QB drop. Tighten up, tighten up, tighten up. Shit. Watch the shit.
A shotgun snap for Newton. Open man is Taylor. He's got it. And he'll have the first down, getting this one to the 14-yard line. Give him 7 yards on the play as they do pick up the third down conversion.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Set, 8, 20. 8, 8. Back.
On first down, Bell. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And it'll make this a 2nd and long.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
So after a rare misstep on this drive, they'll try to make amends on 2nd and 15.
Under 10. Under 10. Bang, bang. 20. Bang, bang. Switch it.
Bell. And just a couple yards there down to the 17.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Ready? 53, Mike. Set the tone, defense. Set the tone, defense. Let's go. Out.
To throw on third down. Newton. He's got it. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. How about the start throwing the football? 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets, and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however, they drew it up for this first drive, going to plan so far. They'll try to run it in with Bell. And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. From back at the 4, here's second and goal.
No.
Now it's Newton. Being chased out left, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Ed Oliver, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
Well, competition comes up in so many different ways, and right now, this unit, their competition is who's going to get to the quarterback the most times. Had about 5 sacks last week. We just saw their first one of this game.
And this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
Get ready. Spot. No. Show it.
Second quarter now, Falcon football, as they'll see what they can do on third and goal. Really in a hole here, 3rd and 17, following the 2 negative plays.
20.
From the gun, here's Newton. And that is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. From 17 yards out, as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle third of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening. But they found the opening and exploited it.
The point after, no gimme in the snow, but it's up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take this across the 25. A couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Now the Bills offense gets ready to head back onto the field. It hasn't gone particularly well for them, that's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Allen now looks to throw. And Austin Seferian-Jenkins has it. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. An excellent pickup of 20 yards. Running on first down, Eckler. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4.
Check. Kill. Turn it up.
Call call it no gain on the dump-off, and it's third down. Now, the old pass completion for no gain, not something you want to call up out of the playbook too often.
Yeah, most offensive coordinators don't have that on their play sheet, so they've got to go back and scramble after this one. But right now, with what they're telling receivers about making sure you take care of the ball in open field.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Hassan Reddick coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
Now, there is nothing easy about being a kicker on a day like this.
Yeah, I tell you, not only is the footing tough in the snow, but kicking that ball is like kicking a rock. Very difficult to get any sort of feel on your kicks.
Well, they gave the 60-yarder a try, didn't make it, and now they're in a tough position defensively. This offense has it at midfield. They'll run on first down. It's Bell, and the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4, and that's going to make it 2nd and 14.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs, and let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
You got tight. Hey! You got tight right there. Hatchet.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Newton, this one caught by Ridley. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
The Falcons on third down. No problems to this point. A perfect 5 for 5. Here it's 3rd and 2.
Big ass. 8.
Operating from the gun. Newton caught by his tight end, Wesco. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. First time these two have hooked up this afternoon, and it's a first down. Newton will bring him up 1st and 10, and he's completed all 7 of his passes thus far.
Watch out. Switch. SOS. 20. SOS.
Out of the shotgun, it's Bell. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
Check 3. Check out 3. 25. Check 25.
On the ground, this is Johnson. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
The Falcons on third down. Can't be any better than a perfect 6 for 6. This will be 3rd and 6. From the gun, Newton. And that is incomplete. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
And his kick here is good. And the lead moves to 10-zip. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
Yeah, things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to the goal line, Things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
This one fielded at the 5. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. The Bills offense coming out, ready to take over. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Here's Allen. Safarian Jenkins has it. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 44-yard line.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can work and finally getting it done.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Allen. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And to the 36-yard line, taken down there after getting 8 yards. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff.
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, they like his work ethic. This guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time. Really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
23 yards the pickup there. In this weather, any big play in the passing game, that's just a bonus, right?
It certainly is, but oftentimes offenses think inclement weather plays to their advantage because you know where you're going on offense. Defenders have to react, and they often slip.
And here he'll get it down to the 7. A gain of 6 there on first.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Allen. And this is caught for a Bills touchdown. A 7-yard touchdown grab as they are now on the board here in the first half. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was a super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball in the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he'd taken a knee as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
Now a first down throw for Newton. Wesco, the tight end, making the catch. And they'll get him down here at the 23. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Newton, and that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8.
Let's go. 20. Number 53. Mike, 53. They can't hang with us.
Operating from the gun. Newton. Oh, and this ball's tipped and intercepted. He's picked off at his own 47. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory. So a challenge coming down from the booth, and that's where these challenges come from.
That's a pick, boy. That's a pick. Going the other way. Mike's 50. Down 80. Mike's 56. Pick it up, guys. Pick it up.
So after the INT, it's Allen. He'll get this to Eckler. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42. And they line up now for what will likely be the last play of the first half. So on second down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. This will be spotted just shy of midfield, a 59-yard attempt. And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. So we've hit halftime. We now proceed to the start of the second half. Not much has changed since we left you at halftime. The snow still continuing to fall as we are back underway. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Cam Newton getting ready to go again on offense. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say, want to get him right back out on the field and play again, right? But as you mentioned, had the halftime, had to stew about it a little bit. Maybe he'll have a chance to relax a little and kind of laugh and chuckle and let it go.
He'll hope to respond positively here to start the third quarter. So a loss of 5, and it'll be second down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments.
Watch the ship. Hey! Watch the ship. Watch the ship.
Off play action. Newton. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's upended after a gain of 4 up to the 25-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. So it would appear they will not be able to add to their lead on this opening drive of the second half.
Yeah, if another touchdown was scored there, now we're talking about a 2-score game, and they're probably on their way, creating an excellent gap between them and their pursuers. But how about the defense there, able to step up and keep themselves in this one?
So here's the Bills offense now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things work well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
No chance. Watch safety.
First down, and they stick with Eckler. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. After seeing that, maybe time to go back to some downfield throws here?
Yeah, anything. Change it up, because the teams that win, the best teams, they're the ones that make adjustments. Doesn't mean you can't come back to what you thought you could get done. Sometimes when you open things up a little bit, you can get back to what you wanted to do before.
No gain that time, and it leaves them with 3rd and 11 coming up.
And there's the first tackle of the game for Carl Joseph. He's one of those safeties that you can utilize in any way you want. But I will have to say, I think the number one thing he does best is tackle.
Throwing now is Allen. That'll be complete to Cook. Give him 2 yards on that play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe, and that will knot us up at 10. So he exercises a few demons by getting that one to go, but tie game, so those 2 misses could still loom large.
They'll probably hang over him the rest of the way, you have to think. But now you get a fresh start. All even. Time for that defense to rise up and get the ball back.
Let's go, boy. Bring it up.
Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
20. 8.
On 2nd down, it's Bell. And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
3rd and 2, Newton. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 10 yards there and a first down for the Falcons. Gotta say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
They'll go again with Bell. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
On 3rd and 2, Newton firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's got a first down as the tackle made at the Bills' 39.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that wasn't the first option.
No, it came off of that guy, the deep guy, and came underneath on the drag, completed it very well.
So 1st and 10 now in Buffalo territory at the 39-yard line. From the gun, Newton. And he will find Ridley. That's complete. It's a gain of 13 and a first down for Atlanta.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down, because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. On first down, Bell. And he'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark him down at the 9. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
It's funny, partner. Le'Veon Bell, when he came out of Michigan State, when I go back and look at my analysis of him and what my grades were for him, thought he was a big-time player, great potential, but I didn't know we were going to get this player. I was used to a big, solid, thick running back. But now, I've got a full package, a guy who can do everything, as we just saw there, including breaking tackles.
But at the time, 2nd-round pick in 2013, some people probably wishing they'd taken him in the 1st. They'll try and run. This is Johnson. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. On second and goal, Newton. And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. Cedric Wilson, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Falcons have taken the lead. Certainly there are good things about quick strike offenses that score fast, but a long drive can also work to your advantage as well.
In so many ways, Brandon, because number one, you get them tired, but the big one is mentally. They can't figure out how to slow you down, how to get off the field, how to get the ball back. They go to the bench wondering, what are we going to do next time in order to stop those guys?
This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. They find themselves down 17-10 as they come up on a 1st and 10. Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. They started on the ground with Eckler, and he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
I got you, boy. I got you, boy. Kill.
It's Eckler again. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 15 yards that time, and a Buffalo first. I tell you, they didn't give it to him much for the first 3 quarters, but when they have, he's been efficient. Maybe they ride him more here down the stretch.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was actually in the game plan for him to have as few carries as he has, but it might play out really well for them now. As you noted, if they want to ride him down the stretch, he should have fresh legs.
Allen's throw is complete, and he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. 14 yards, and the Bills will get a new set of downs. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Now Allen, and this is incomplete. Something we haven't really seen much of from him, an incomplete pass.
Yeah, last week he finished at 70%. This week he's up over 80%. I don't know how you slow him down. Pass rush is usually the best way because a quarterback on his back usually can't complete a pass.
Allen will try again on 2nd down. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And that's going to be good for another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 23. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
On play action, Allen. It's complete to Jones. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that'll bring up a 2nd and goal.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants...
And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22.
Second goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football, had to eat it, and ended up on the ground.
They need to reverse the trend. The last two plays have gone backwards. Now it's 3rd and goal. They'll try to run with Lindsey. And they'll get him down right about the 20. Only able to pick up a yard, and that's going to leave him with a long 4th and goal.
I know this is your spot, partner, so forgive me for jumping in, but there's no decision right here. They have to go for it in this situation. They're down on the scoreboard. How many other opportunities are you going to get?
Yeah, I'm with you. 4th quarter, like you said, down on the scoreboard. And remember here, a field goal virtually does them no good. And this one is right through. And that will cut this lead back down to 4 now. It's 17-13. So an interesting call there to take the 3. I mean, I guess they're thinking that their hands were tied, but, 4th quarter, that field goal might not help them that much in the end.
Yeah, eventually they're going to need the touchdown. The thinking must have been they didn't feel confident about picking it up there, hoping maybe on defense they can get better field position, get a turnover, get a better play, and then they'll have a chance to attack the end zone.
Falcons offense making their way onto the field. Let's take a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And I tell you, 4 weeks still to go, and everything is wide open, and it's fun.
And I know we always talk about, well, if the playoffs were to begin today, and then we kind of go, okay, but they're not. Let's see how it plays out. Wouldn't it be fun to play with this playoff lineup right now? Because to me, just about anyone can win this whole thing out of this grouping we currently have. And by the time we get there, it may look entirely different.
And there on the tackle, Shaq Lawson. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Operating from the gun. Newton. He'll find Taylor. That's complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 14 yards there and a Falcon 1st down. This is something you got to be wary of defensively. I mean, just because they're in the mode of trying to burn some clock doesn't mean they won't pass it, and they got good yardage out of that one.
Yeah, and really, when you're looking at it, now they've got a fresh set of downs. Look for 2nd down. If they want to take another shot and try and loosen things up, that'd be the time to do it.
Switch it.
On 1st down, Newton. Caught. It's Wilson. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for a 1st down for the Falcons.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomped down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football.
He's checking. Crash.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Bell, and he's going to get hit at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up 2nd down.
20. He's crashing. He's checking crash.
Out of the gun, Newton. That's complete. It's Bell. Call it a gain of 5, and that'll make it 3rd down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
And he picks up the 1st before he's taken down at the 29. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On 1st down, Bell. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
kill, kill. Turn up. Kill, kill, kill. Turn up. Deuce, 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 deuce. Check, 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 check.
Running from the gun, Johnson. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. So it's 3rd and 6, and this will be the 8th play of the drive.
Kill, kill, kill. Kill, kill. 20. Check 26. Check 31. Check 31. You go tight. You got tight. You got tight right there. Hatchet. Hatchet.
From the shotgun, it's a give to Bell. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. It'll be from the right hash, and it'll be a 36-yarder. And his kick is good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. From a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a one-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
Allen and the Bills now, down 20-13, a minute 45 to play. They've won 3 in a row, but they've got work to do if they want to get a 4th in a row as they come up on first down. He's back to throw. He completes it to Jones. 12 yards that time, and a Bills first down.
Well, how about keeping your head about you in this situation? No more timeouts. Finds a way to get out of bounds. Now they can breathe a little bit as they contemplate what to do on the next down.
Allen now 15 out of 17 through the air, only 2 incompletions. It's first down. Back to throw. That's complete to the Memphis man, Anthony Miller. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. They'll look to throw. Complete to Jones. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 11 yards and a Buffalo first down. He'll look to throw. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Back to throw. And to the tight end here, Safarian Jenkins. And he'll get nothing out of that one. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. This is caught inside the 15. And all the way home for a Bills touchdown. Austin Safarian Jenkins in the final minute as they can now even this game here in the 4th quarter with the extra point. A very important extra point there, up and good, and we are tied here in the 4th quarter. Fitting for what's been a tight ball game. We're all even at 20 now as the kick's away. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. So out come the Falcons now. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play, but if they don't, it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. And a completion to Wilson. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. The Falcons going to use the 2nd of their timeouts. as they get it with 26 seconds to go in the football game. Now Newton. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Falcons going to use their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go in the football game. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Newton to throw. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Newton. That'll be incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining. The Falcons send out their punter as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. .46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. They have a little bit of time here to get into field goal range. Not much. In a tie game, you don't want to do anything crazy, right?
I agree with you on that one. Risk reward, okay? If you go for it, what is the absolute reward on this? But the risk is probably greater. Run the clock out, get to overtime, and try and win it there.
It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
This fielded at the 2. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field. They're set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. They'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. He wasn't able to really get anything going in regulation. Maybe it'll be a little different story here in overtime.
And it appears that with that call, they want to establish the run in overtime, try and set the tone for what they're going to get done. And you're right, maybe it didn't work so well in regulation. Overtime could be the charm. And by the way, yards count either way.
And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. In overtime, you have to be smarter than that.
A personal foul just can't happen. Have to have poise.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. After the penalty, it's Bell. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Early down stuff will put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this day, has got to be priority 1.
20. Check 13.
First throw in overtime for Newton. He gets this into the hands of Taylor. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. It's a gain of 16, first down Falcons.
Brandon, that's a huge completion there. That puts them in field goal range, but let's face it, they don't want 3 here. They want 6. With these overtime rules, a touchdown finishes it off.
Yeah, looking to win it right away. Good to know, though, that they have 3 in their back pocket if they need it.
6 guys. Check 6 guys. Kill. Switch.
They'll run on first down. It's Bell. A gain of 3, second down. And I know you, with every carry, especially in overtime, you're just saying, if you're that ball carrier, hold on to the football.
Hold on to it, protect it, but not necessarily settling, because you're trying to get to the end zone. You're trying to end the game right here. And I know the defensive guys, poking, clawing, raking, trying to knock the ball free and protect their end zone.
Yeah, like you alluded to, especially this part of the field.
Good work, boys. Let's go. Here we go. It's a set, but ain't. Hey! Check. Lucky. Switch.
A first down carry here for Johnson. And he is in for the score. And it is absolute stunned silence here as they win it on the road in overtime. Partner, a great game that we got to see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, trying to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you to pay for my meal later.
You really just wanted 4 quarters what you wanted. But how much fun was that? We had that type of a game where we got us to overtime, and then we get the dramatic ending to finish things off as well. What a game.